Yes, good night, everyone. Welcome to Sex on the Bridge. Yes, with me, the original dancehall queen, Carlene. And I'm bringing you your weekly dose of adult radio content. You don't want to miss this. The only place you need to be right now is at the Bridge 99 FM. And you can also call in 876 676 4996 or 876 and a voice note 5515782. But tonight I have a house full of real interesting people, and we're going to learn. My topic tonight is holiday loneliness and how do we cope. Sometimes you think it's okay, you're doing something right until you find yourself crying in the dark, or just crying when nobody's around, or you have an outburst when somebody's around. But tonight I do have some very interesting guests, and we're gonna go to it and see how best we'll get them involved and see if you can learn a thing or two or get to understand why this happened. How can you help this when it happens, or can you prevent this from happening? All right, so a lot of things we're going to learn. We're going to learn from my guest. I do have in studio with me my very good friend, and of course a very controversial good friend, Lisa Hyper. Welcome.
Hi guys, good night.
And I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule, trying to master everything and still find time to do this.
Thank you for having me.
I have in studio also Gifty,
Hello everyone.
an
Good
immigrant
night.
from London who works as a freelancer. Good
Yes.
night. Are
Good
you
night.
hearing?
Say that again.
I'm not hearing anything.
Oh yeah. Oh, hi everyone. Good night.
And I have Daniel Edwards, author. He is the owner and founder of T180.
T180.
Oh, T180. Good night.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. And I also have in Canada my very good friend, my sister, not by mother, but by Christ, to Christ, Christine Jackson, host of Keeping It Real, and of course, a recent divorcee. And I do have a psychologist with me, my very good friend, and became our friend on social. Yes. Good night, Sonia Winter, and
Hi.
founder of Tea House Therapy. Thanks for coming again, Christine. How cold is Canada right now? I'm not hearing a thing, guys.
Good night, everybody.
How cold is Canada right now?
I think it's -5, something like that.
Oh, I'm not hearing her. All
I'm on
right.
a sweater. I'm on a sweater inside.
Oh,
I
I'm
don't
hearing
want
you
snow.
now. All right.
And I'm inside.
Nice. Well, sometimes we would take a little cold down here. May I tell you, it's winter time, but it's not here in Jamaica. All right, I want to welcome. Hi, Sonia. I couldn't hear Sonia. Sonia Winter?
Hey, hi there. Good night, everybody.
All right, I'm going to actually start with you tonight, Sonia, because, loneliness in the holiday seasons is really a touchy, kind of, what would you say, situation, matter, sensitive, a lifestyle for a lot of people. This time, research have shown that the most suicide in the world, not just Jamaica, is committed at this time of year.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Right? So people take it to a different level when they're by themselves and just trying to cope with not having a partner or just family, sometimes children, money.
I think the reason why it's effective this time of year is because everyone knows that this time of year is for family. Like is where you spend time with family.
Yeah, and loved ones.
So and loved ones.
Yeah.
So this is when you feel lonely the most.
Yes, truly.
Yeah. Leave.
All right, Sonia, hello.
Hi, I'm here. Go
All
ahead,
right.
Carly.
I want to start with you, Sonia, so you can help us through, and then you'll hear the other stories. How to cope. How do you cope with the loneliness at this time of the year, especially this time of the year?
Yeah. I think, can you hear me okay, Carly?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right, okay. As you touched on it before, people feel lonely at Christmas for a variety of reasons, you know. Um, the main one being because it's a family time and it's time to be with loved ones and people who are important. Then for those people who have lost a loved one, it can be a time of grieving, a time of remembering somebody important who isn't here with us. Sometimes people that live far away from relatives. Sometimes people have difficult relationships in their family, and so they stay away. Um, Sometimes also people are experiencing mental health issues where they have social anxiety or they're having depression. Um, and all of those reasons can make the Christmas season, the time of being together, even more difficult for people such as that, you know? So a lot of, in terms of coping, a lot has to do with what are the contributors to why you actually are lonely, you know? Um, Maybe Christine mentioned that did you say, Christine, you're a recent divorcee?
Yes.
Is that what? Yeah.
I'm
So, you know,
fully
change.
divorced, but yeah, going through it.
Yeah, so a dramatic change like that, you know, can also have that effect too, you know, where you know, in years past, you know, you had a partner, and now you don't, so that can have an impact on you in the same way, you know. So one of the first things is to kind of identify what's the trigger for your loneliness, to understand, you know, why am I alone? But more important, why do I feel lonely? Because there are some people who are alone. Being alone is a choice you often make, and you don't feel a distress with that, right? There's nothing wrong with being alone because it means you've chosen to be so. When you're alone and it's not a choice that you would make, then you feel lonely, you know, and so loneliness creates distress. Being alone does not necessarily create distress, you know.
Yes.
What's the difference? What's the difference?
Being alone is more a choice one makes.
Right?
Okay, you can choose to be alone, and if you're choosing to be alone, you probably don't feel any sense of distress
Right.
from that choice that you've made. However, feeling lonely now is often not necessarily a choice that you've made to be alone. Okay. And because it's not a choice, because it's something that you would rather not have, it creates distress. Okay. So loneliness is distressing. Being alone is not necessarily distressing.
Okay. So
does that land with
being
you?
being alone is okay because that's a choice we choose, right? But being lonely isn't.
You know, a lot of the people talk about, I need some alone time.
Right,
to
right.
sort of recharge my batteries. And that can even be therapeutic, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Give
so
me
let me
a
ask you something.
specific thing to help with loneliness. What can one person or people do to
Right.
to help loneliness? Let's say
For sure.
they don't have anybody and they're not going to have anybody. What can they do?
Okay, the most popular suggestion that's made for people who are lonely is to spend their time supporting other people, like volunteering. That's the one suggestion that you hear the most, you know. Typically, there are a lot of people in need at Christmas time. There are other people who are lonely too. And so for people who are lonely, it makes a difference if you can connect with somebody else by supporting them. Okay. And so oftentimes that helps you to feel a sense of gratitude for the things you have, which maybe the person you're helping does not have.
That's
And
right.
can kind of lift your spirit, that sense of connection and supporting somebody else. So that's often the suggestion that we most often hear.
All right. Is there any other thing they could do away from sharing with somebody? Just, sometimes, as you said earlier, mental can be part and you just don't want to see somebody. Is there anything else they can do except for seeing other
Sure.
persons
Sure.
or people?
So if you can see this as a time where you're going to treat yourself to something really nice. So let's say there's a movie you always wanted to watch. You can, binge on your favorite movie or something like that, right? You can treat yourself to, also a nice meal that you want to fix for yourself, whatever rocks your boat, kind of. If you could see it as you're doing this for yourself, as your gift to yourself, you know what I mean? Some people, if you have the funds and you can order something nice for yourself, so it's coming around Christmas time, you have something to look forward to. But it's trying to be good to yourself, trying to be self-care, trying to treat yourself in the way, being your own best friend, as it were. Whatever a best friend would do for you to cheer you up, you kind of try to do it for yourself. Are some other suggestions that can sometimes help as well,
Okay.
True.
All right. I want to ask if anybody here is choosing to be lonely or is lonely. Who is alone? Who is alone? Is there anybody alone? I'm alone.
I'm alone.
Me
I'm
alone.
alone.
So
Is
that
there-
means that you choose
I'm
to-
alone,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
I'm
I
alone.
choose
But
to be
is
alone.
anybody lonely on the panel?
No.
No.
Not no more.
I mean,
I lonely too. I choose to
no,
be alone,
yeah,
but I'm
it
also
come- yeah,
lonely.
because there's gonna be a time where you're gonna feel like that, but you adjust to it because you're already, cause it's like you're paying consequences for your choice then, because you choose to be lonely, and because you choose to be lonely, you have to succumb with being lonely sometimes. So
Right.
it comes with the lifestyle you live, right?
Okay.
Like you choose, right?
Yes.
But if
Christine,
you have no choice, for
what do you mean by that?
instance- Well, for instance, for me, 5 years out of my life, I had no choice. I was incarcerated right there in Jamaica. So that's loneliness right there. You have to learn to cope with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially you're not from Jamaica, meaning she lives in
Exactly.
Canada. All our
Yeah.
friends and family are
Yeah,
in
that's
Canada.
harsh.
So,
How did you
know,
cope with that? How did you cope with
God,
that?
God, and I walked and I read a lot.
Yeah.
But
And it helped you through.
That's the next way.
But it's a choice where you don't have a choice.
Right. You didn't choose that because you would never
No.
choose that.
No, just the wrong friends at the time, and at them time, when you're hot and you want to do your thing. So it's like wrong choices in your life, and it create that loneliness space that you have to deal with. You don't have a choice.
But how did you deal with it?
For me,
Yes.
walk. I walked the prison. I just kept walking the prison every morning until 3 o'clock lockdown, and then I would sit there. You had a rock in there named Freedom Rock. I would spend a lot of time on that rock reading, because I could see the Portmore Bridge from that rock, and that consumed my time. So, if you don't have a choice, you might do.
Oh.
What about what about being around people but still feel like you're alone?
Sonia, she says being around
that's what-
people, but still feel
Right.
like you're alone.
Okay, so that's when I know you've often heard the phrase alone in a crowd.
Right.
So you're around a lot of people, but you still have the distressing feeling of loneliness. And that can happen now when you don't feel a sense of connection with the people
Yes,
around you.
and you
know,
feel
kind
left
of
out.
right, you feel kind of alienated from
Yeah.
them. They're not your people, kind of thing. You don't feel safe. You don't feel like they have your best interest, like they have your back. That's something.
Right.
So you don't feel apart.
Or maybe the energy
and
just
that
don't
can-
connect.
Sorry.
She said maybe the energy just don't connect.
Yeah, for whatever reason, but there's a sense of separation. So
Yeah.
even though there are lots of people around you, you don't necessarily
How-
feel that
how-
connection.
how
So
you-
you will feel lonely.
How do you help somebody like that what can you think of what could be missing why they're feeling that?
Yeah, that's the thing, Carlene. The help depends on the reason why the person is feeling that way. And there are a lot of different reasons, okay? You might imagine that you're in a family setting and it's your family, it is your blood relatives, but you feel alone. Then in that situation, you know that the family need an intervention. There are relationships that have gone bad. And then this is a family that if the members of the family are interested, then they need an intervention to kind of bring them back together.
Together, yes.
If you're if you're in amongst friends and you feel isolated from the friends, then, there might be you might need to do some introspection, okay, to try and figure out, why what is it about me? Is there anything about me that's causing
Yes,
me to alienate myself
very true.
from other
Maybe
friends?
Kirsty is just
You
an
know?
alien.
Gifty and Daniel, can you relate to that at all? I mean, have you ever been in that situation, or can you relate
Where
to
I
it?
feel alone in a crowd?
Yes.
All the time. All the time.
Or with family?
Or with family, yeah. I mean, and that does speaks to, I think let's say, the degree to which you feel out of whack with a group is the degree to which they're not your people.
Yeah.
And sometimes your own family are not your people.
Of course.
So your vibe attracts your tribe. So sometimes
Yeah.
you have to kind of tune in. Maybe the isolation is good so you can tune
Yeah.
into yourself and see who
Super,
really are your
yeah.
people.
Gifty,
Yeah,
can you relate to that?
I definitely relate, because
Yeah.
if you asked me this question like 6 years ago, I would have probably been in a depressed state and be talking at a different level of loneliness. But as Daniel has said, is like you get to a point where you're like, okay, this is not my people, this is not my tribe. Where do I go and find them? So I had that situation in London amongst family and friends. And then I came to Jamaica, and that was me making a choice to now be lonely, or to be alone, away from friends and family. Even though I came here with my children, my daughter's father here, but I still didn't connect with his family, especially like his parents. So up to recently, I would say like last Christmas, I was alone, but I wasn't lonely though. So how I coped with that, where he went to take my daughter and spent Christmas with his family, and his mother, I just hired a car and I drove around in Jamaica. That's what I did. I just drove.
Whoa,
and I
you
had
go,
to answer to
girl.
myself, I'm here, because my thing is that advertisement pushes the whole family orientated season. That's what they're pushing. And then it's like, okay, well, I don't have a family that is of my own that I'm close to or so forth. And I miss Christmas dinner in the UK, because we get Yorkshire pudding, we get all sorts of, it's not the typical Jamaican like type of meal. So I miss that. But then I'm like, okay, I'm here. My daughter's getting her family togetherness. Whereas where does that leave me? So I kind of was like, am I going to sit here and sulk about it? Or what is it that I'm going to do to make myself feel happy on this day?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm on an island.
Beautiful
The UK
island.
Yeah, I'm on a beautiful island.
Where you could have been in
Yeah.
a skinny top.
Yeah, precisely. So like, I basically, I did bring my swimsuit. I drove around Jamaica and then drove to a beach, and I was on the beach, and I was just being thankful and blessed and grateful to even have this moment. But that's like what Sonia says, is like is a mental health thing. It's like, where are you at? And I wasn't at that point of feeling lonely. I was like, how am I going to utilize this alone time? Because as parents, we were like, oh, I want to get away from the kids. I just want that break. And I got the break, but I got the break
And you
around
still
Christmas
not
time.
want it.
Right. So it was like, okay, so even with my kids, I've stopped Christmas presents for years now, and I'm like, it's about playing games, family time. But now I put that in place, and then I don't have the children with me. So what do I do here?
Right.
So it ended up being that, okay, I said, okay, I'm by myself. This is the first time I've actually been by myself without the kids, without family, my UK friends, my UK family, and I'm not really close with anyone here in Jamaica because I never grew up with them. So yeah, I hired a car, drove, and beautiful scenery, and I was literally driving in the sun. Then it rained, then it's sun again. so playing my Afro beats and just bubbling to music as I was. And by the time I realized the day was ended.
But
Yeah.
how did you feel? Did it take away the loneliness?
Yes, it definitely did. And music does take away
Yes,
loneliness.
yes.
Music does, like, you know,
Occupies your mind, yeah.
it
does.
takes away and I didn't play music that were
Depressing.
depressing.
Yeah,
I
because
didn't
Love
have a
songs.
love song music. I didn't have none of those on the playlist. It wasn't none of those.
Yeah,
you
I'm
know,
alone in a garden with looking over.
yeah, or bad mind people or anything. I didn't listen to anything that was gonna put me in a depressed state.
And then all I want for Christmas is you.
Yeah. I did no Mariah Carey for that time. No offense, Mariah, but it was just none of that. But it was just really nice to like just play my Afro beats and, you know, just driving and seeing the scenery of the island was really good. And then also like I know everyone in the UK would love to be on Christmas Day on the beach in the sun hot. So I had a total reverse of weather, and I was just enjoying it because I don't know if I'm gonna be here for next year Christmas.
Exactly.
So you know, I just took that moment rather than to be depressed. So yeah.
And for Lisa, you know, people tend to see artists in a different light, that they should always have people happy. How does it work for you?
Or
as a
always
woman.
Well, as you say, I'm an artist. I'm not just any woman. So it takes a lot of time for someone to get to know me, and that's what I don't have. I'm full of so much character. I'm bipolar. There's so much to know about me, and it takes time. And the men that I am attracted to, their life is hectic too.
And constant. It's just going. So you
So
can't keep up.
that
Them
is
can't keep
how
up.
I choose to be alone, because it makes no sense being with someone and still feeling lonely. And it's not because that person doesn't like you or love you, it's just that they don't know you. So they don't know
Which side to
yeah,
deal
they
with
don't
today.
know what to do to make you happy, what to do to make you laugh. It's like, yeah, it's deep. But living a lifestyle like that, you have to be strong-minded.
And you see, especially with you who do sexy songs.
Yeah.
So they feel like every time they see you must be dressed, dolled up, dressed in
Yeah,
certain way.
and
And when
that-
it's not happening, it's like, who this?
Yeah, and actually when I spoke to the Loop the other day, and they asked me that question about my sexual songs, I told them, even though I sing a lot of sexual songs, I hardly have sex.
Right.
And no one would believe that.
No, it's not
hardly-
only that they believe, they come with that perspective on you
Perspective,
to
yes.
say,
And-
you have this image.
Yeah, so that's why I carry myself the total opposite when I'm like
And some
not
people
on
don't
stage.
want that.
Yeah, when
'Cause
I'm
they don't
not
know
on
you.
stage. It's like once I'm not my alter ego, it like I'm a total
Boring.
different.
Yeah.
I'm boring.
And you see, with as Sonia said, you have to find that balance. Because if he thinks you're only, I remember once long ago, somebody met me and said, at home, you know, I'm cooking up a Christmas dinner, and he went, you don't have on a see-through furry nightie and a furry bed slippers with a champagne glass. He says that's how he sees me.
They
In
don't
a
know how to
see-through
differentiate the
furry
two.
nightie with a furry bed slippers and a glass of champagne.
Because guess what? You as the entertainer have to know how to differentiate the two.
No, but
And
sometimes when
sometimes
people coming into
they
your
don't.
space,
They
they're
don't.
like, oh, she's not dolled up. You don't look like this all the time. No, this is home. I'm preparing for Christmas dinner.
Well, see, you're also a fantasy girl now, Carlene.
Exactly.
Yeah, for this.
And
Accept
it's
that.
I hate it.
expectations.
'Cause you and I were in a relationship when I was in high school in my head.
You hear what? Listen, he said in his head,
In my mind.
when he was in high school, we
So-
I don't know. Have I
And this
ever
is the
met
first
you?
time I'm meeting you.
There you go. So it's the
I'm gonna
first
drink
time
my
he's meet.
water.
I hope I didn't
Mind my
disappoint.
business on
So-
this one.
Did I disappoint?
No. So this is what comes with that, you know, that territory.
Yeah. All right, Sonia, what are the different types of loneliness? Away from the choice, you know, the different type of loneliness. No, not hearing her. Not hearing you, Sonia.
Sorry, my fault.
Yes.
There's loneliness that arises out of grief because you've lost somebody important, and Christmas is when you're going to go through the grieving
Yeah.
blues again. Even if you feel like you've settled off a little bit, coming up to Christmas, it's gonna hit you again.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's one reason. It could be a change in your status, change in your relationship
Like gifting.
with somebody else, so you feel lonely again. So something could have happened during the year, or over the years, that has changed your status. There's a sense of loss, and so you feel alone. As I said, also, it could be that there are a number of relationships, family relationships, that are experiencing a lot of tension, so you're left alone.
Yeah.
It could be for some people also, it's a change in their family situation. So they're like parents, for example, whose children have gone away, single parents. So, that's a change in their status. They're left alone. And then, of course, so there are mental health issues, which I mentioned earlier. There are people who are suffering from depression. And so they will kind of isolate themselves, people who
That's
have
what I
Yes.
social anxiety. So they will isolate themselves. They actually feel very uncomfortable going out.
Yeah. Very
All
true.
right, for social anxiety, how do we see the signs? Let's say Christine is my very good friend. She's always happy. She's always helping other persons. She's always worrying about everybody. And I might not see the sign on her because, she's putting the best foot forward. What are the signs should I look for, knowing that she's not going to tell me she's lonely or sad or unhappy? What are the signs?
Yeah. Okay. The signs of social anxiety are hard to catch, Carlene, because most people who experience it stay away from others. Okay. So they isolate themselves a lot. The only sign that you might come across is that they may be somewhere and you may be with them. They may feel comfortable enough to be with you. And then somebody else comes, or there is a crowd. They find themselves in a crowd. They sometimes will have like a panic attack. Almost.
Yes. You feel
heart
like
start racing.
Yeah.
Yes, heart start racing, palpitations, feel agitated, have this awful sense of doom and gloom, like something.
Yeah, like you don't have no worth.
Right. You have to escape, you have to get out.
Been there.
Exactly. So and it's being around other people creates this sense of
if them a laugh after you,
anxiety.
what them a think about you, you know what I mean? You're just thinking, be a negative of that. They're thinking negative things about you, thinking
Right.
everybody know where you got to. You feel like shame come down, and Lord, it's not a nice feeling, enough.
Yeah.
So you have social anxiety.
It's not social anxiety I have. I was going through depression.
Okay.
But Lisa as well.
Yeah,
I've been following her for quite a while, and I am some of the things she's been through. When we hear them talk about her, I'd be like, that is not true. I feel her because you see as a woman when you go through them things there, believe me, if you know what already, you're gonna be like, we're crazy. We're not in a sense of too enough and all them something, but it is a legal, silent mental issue. And it's real.
Yeah, it's
So,
real.
Can't be judged
And
on the
it was even today I was saying to someone, it's okay, when you see some people and they might, look
Yes.
not well, ask them if
Yes.
they're all right. Hey, you okay?
Yes.
You sure?
Yeah.
Make them tell you say you're too enough.
Yeah.
Make them feel like you're too enough for your question.
And you'd be surprised people start talk.
Yeah.
People start let it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's what we need to do for this
Yeah.
holiday season.
I always do that.
to
Too.
do that.
Yeah. I always
Talk
do
to
it.
people.
And Sonia, as you're both saying, what are some of the things? Let's say, as I know Lisa, and if she look back on her message, I will just ask her, "Are you okay?"
Right.
Reach out to me, Lisa, if you're not. Sometimes they don't. What do you do next? Because I've done it with her. She don't reach out, but I'm watching her, so I can see her because she's a public figure. But what about people like Christine, who is my friend in Canada? I can't see her unless she's on her show on a Wednesday night, Keeping It Real show, and I can't say her. But that's a put on because she's gonna come with her best
Thank you.
face
Yeah.
forward. What should
Yeah.
I say to her, knowing that something could be going wrong? Because you don't
Yeah.
also want to say the wrong
The
things.
thing, yes, because you don't know
And
what
shut you down,
you
yeah.
you don't know what the person triggers are.
What are some of the
You
things,
know
you
what?
know,
I
we
think
can
one
say
of the
as
most
people?
powerful things to be able to say to somebody is, hey, listen, I know you don't seem yourself. I'm going to tell you every day I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And keep repeating that. I am here for you, you know. Um, and if you want to, whatever you need, you want to talk, you don't want to talk, you just want to be silent with me, I'm here. I will sit with you.
Empathy is
Tell me what you
always
need.
the right
Exactly.
way. Like
Exactly.
empathy is always the right way.
And for
And I
us,
think, and the thing about it is, what often happens, is that, Carlene, you will ask her, what can I do for you? And at first, she's going to put you off. She's going to put you off
Yeah,
several
yeah.
times. And so, to really help, it's about
I was just
diligence
gonna say
and
that.
staying with it, because, a lot of times, the anxiety is about just not feeling safe.
Yeah.
with anyone.
So as in a strange way, this is how the mind thinks when you're experiencing these mental health issues, right? In a strange way, if you ask, are you okay? And the person says, yeah, no, man, I'm fine. And you leave, in their own mind, that's the confirmation that you really weren't interested, in a strange way. It's kind of paradoxical, but
Yeah.
it's like, as soon as
Right.
you leave, it's like the person will say, yeah, me no, so she really wasn't interested anyway. So it's about commitment to always checking in.
Yeah.
That will eventually, when they're ready, because you can't force them at all. And it has to be when they feel comfortable.
Exactly.
They will turn to you. But just
Exactly.
they're ready, poised, ready to receive them whenever they reach out to you.
Yeah. Very
So
true.
so guys, I hope you're listening out there, checking with people constantly, because it helps. It helps and it helps and it helps.
Even if they don't say it, they're thinking about it. Even if they don't respond to your message,
Yeah,
it
it sometimes
does.
make
Yeah,
a difference.
Yeah, it does.
Is there gifts?
Carlene, I have a policy, you see, whenever anybody crosses my mind, I stop what I'm doing and I send them a
Amen.
Me too.
Amen to
Me
that.
I'm
too.
thinking
Me
of,
too.
Yes.
sometimes I even pull off the road.
Yeah,
Yes.
me too.
And
And
call them.
immediately
me
just
too.
say,
Because
hey, I thought
because
about you
because
today.
of the connection you have, sometimes the universe is telling
Telling
you
you,
that
yeah.
something is wrong.
Yeah,
You hear what the
Exactly.
lady
And
said?
that's right. I can't tell you how many times
Yeah.
people say, what is so funny that you reached
Always
out.
Yep.
call on the right time,
Yeah.
right? You always get that, right?
Always.
Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because sometimes you have some friends you don't speak to them in a long while, but you always call at the right time.
Right
It's
time.
either
Yeah.
them a go through something, or them have something to tell you, or some catching up to do. So I get that all
Yeah.
the time too. Yeah.
But then
Trust
what about the
me.
situation of those persons who always have the S on their chest? They're always the one that's
Superman.
checking on everyone else.
them
And
really
then because
Go check
they've
in
been
for
seen
you.
as the
Yeah,
stronger
strong
person,
Yeah.
no one really feels that they need to check
True,
on that
yeah.
person.
Thank
And
you.
really and truly
Exactly.
what it is that they're the ones who are actually
Really
reaching
need
out
it more.
that need it most. Yeah.
And me alone tired for be strong sometimes.
No. Sometimes
Even
yeah.
the other day, me I said to somebody, say, boy, I'm
No,
tired
I-
for be strong.
yeah,
It's
I'll
like
tell
me
you.
just tired.
Christine and I was talking about this yesterday. Something happened and I was like, geez, I'm crying. How much more am I gonna carry?
Yeah.
And yes, haven't I proven that I'm strong? Give me something weak. No, man, I don't want to pass the test. And you sit
know?
back and you're like, all right, I cross another hurdle that seems impossible.
Yeah.
But do I want to
Yeah.
keep crossing these
Crossing,
hurdles?
yeah.
Why can't I just walk under the bridge and the water flow on me?
Well,
And then it is
and you know what I've learned? That there's one man on the panel, and
Yes.
if we're wrong about this, let him answer me.
no problem.
You guys
Mhm.
hide on a pen more than we do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Why
he's the
you do
answer,
that?
not we.
Not too much
Oh.
of it.
No,
Why?
because
And like you're
in
the
the,
one
in
that's
this
going to
society you have this
do
problem
this.
now where if you're vulnerable, if you open up to a woman and then you're vulnerable now, them say you're weak.
Some women.
exactly.
But also, Daniel, you know where that's stemming from, how you were brought up. Not you in general,
Yeah.
but how they brought up boys. As I had a couple weeks, they fall down. Don't cry, you're
showing
down.
love is a
No, and strength must come with pain. The little kid fall down. Get up, man, you're boy. Why you top girl like you're gallon? And so that development starts from there.
Yeah, but the things are shifting now where things are, you have people like Charlemagne and God now talking about doing therapy. Men are opening up more than ever before. I think I even heard one name from Outcast, Andre 3000, talking about he had social anxiety. These are things that wouldn't happen 5 years ago. So the tide is shifting.
Yeah.
Well, I need therapy too. I'm gonna get therapy.
Yeah.
Too.
I think it's definitely good because
can you talk about it, Daniel, as a single man? You know, to the point. So we can. It's 5 women here, and we want to know.
Yeah.
Which aspect exactly?
As a single man.
Well, I'm recently single, so I'm still healing. You know. So
experiencing loneliness.
My relationship ended in August, but I'm an only child, so I've always loved my own company. So I see my alone time as time to work on myself. You know, so I what I would say for somebody who is dealing with loneliness, good to have a routine. Starts with your body. If you're going through any type of emotional distress, the first place you go is into your body. Get moving.
Yeah. Yes.
So
right.
As Christine said earlier, while she was in incarceration, she walked.
Get moving. Yeah. Get back to nature. Take off your shoes. Ground yourself. Pull the energy from the earth.
And think.
And then for me, you know, I am a big. This is another one that I talk about, but I get a lot of pushback in Jamaica because I'm an avid meditator. So I had a point in my life where I had a life crash. I was in the corporate rat race. I used to be an insurance agent at Sagicor, so I was a suit and tie guy.
Yeah.
And I sell insurance and I compete to get these company awards and all of these things and doing well, but everything does hit a wall. And then I had the privilege of going to a company psychologist at the time. So that, at the time, no, that was kind of taboo. But I have a degree in psychology, so I was open to it. And in the discussion now, I learned about meditation. I started meditating, and then that was what pulled me out of my hole. And that has been a part of my life since. So meditation is a big thing because it actually changes your brain.
Yes.
Rewire your brain. And so meditation, gratitude. Gratitude is a magnet that will pull all of the good things you want in life. Sometimes we spend so much time just complaining about what we don't have.
Yeah. And what we lose.
And then as you get and so, you know, sometimes you'll be here complaining, and if you look back, all of these things that you have now were things 5 years ago. You was dreaming about, you wish you'd have those things. And now you have them now, and then it's a next thing and a next thing and a next thing. So I had somebody put me onto this book called The Magic.
Okay.
So years ago.
Who's the writer?
It's in the Secret series, The Secret. I don't remember the name of the author.
Okay.
So me I complain. I was dating this girl, and she said to me, you know, you need to read The Magic. I said, yeah, man, let me get back to you. And she hear me complain a week after, and she come back again.
That's it.
And then I'm still a complain, and she brought the book and said, read this book called The Magic. So The Magic is about gratitude. So I do a gratitude list every day. 10 things I'm grateful for the day before. And you write it out, and then you say thank you after each one. So all I do is I just keep collecting different tools.
Yeah.
But those three, exercise, gratitude, meditation, for me if I don't do anything for the day, I do those 3 things.
And that helped you through that period in your life.
Yeah. And it got me to leave the job I hated and chase my dreams.
Yes.
Yeah.
Music. For me, it's music, meditating, and nature, writing as well. You know,
that's how you unleash.
Yeah, nature. I connect deeply with nature.
When you say nature, just for who's listening,
trees,
what do you mean?
Birds, river,
outdoors.
Yeah, I talk to the birds and the trees,
and then people see it, don't understand, and say you're mad.
Yeah, many used to it.
Because you see, we all, as Sonia said earlier on, we will all heal differently. We will all express our loneliness, our feeling of not being lonely in different ways. What are some of the things that, as I asked before, that people tend to want to give gifts? and there might not be appropriate. Are there appropriate gifts? Forget if we can afford it or not. Just even the thought of it.
Yep.
You know, are there appropriate gifts that for people, especially single and lonely? Sonia?
You know what? It depends on, you know, a lot of
individual
things,
relationship.
Carlene. However, I always maintain, you know, the most profound, valuable gift you can give to somebody else is a gift of yourself in some way, whether it's your time, whether it's your interest, whether it is your companionship, you know what I mean? So if what we're talking about, you see, Carlene, is loneliness, right? And people who are alone, and you want to give that person a gift, I think the most profound and meaningful gift you can give is the gift of companionship. If you could even call up that person and say, you know something, let's go down the harbor, go check out the lights, no? Or
Right?
let
Things
me,
like
you
that.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, I was thinking of you, me know say you love, you know, me get some mango, you know, make a carry them come share with you or something. I come from country, you know, and you hardly ever go check anybody without you bring either ground provision or you bring something, go get them, you know,
Thank you.
kind of a thing. But the gift is not why
Gratitude,
you're
as
going,
Daniel
you know,
said.
it's really you're going to see them kind of thing. And you carry the cocoa as an accessory.
Yeah, but it's such a good feeling. It's a good feeling, you know?
Sure,
You
for
sit up,
sure.
I see you coming there with this bag and you give me the bag a pretty mango. I have a piece of yam in it. Oh my goodness, it's a good feeling.
That's when you feel a sense of connection.
Yes.
And that you're thinking about me and not just giving me
Exactly.
something because
Exactly.
you think I want a present.
Exactly,
True.
for sure, for sure.
True. Very
And,
true.
and knowing
And it's so
who you
cheap.
Call up the person, tell them you're
Mhm.
thinking about them. You know, that is a gift. If you want to spend the money, go ahead. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Depending on the person, if you know the person well enough, that's going to help you decide what is the best gift for that person. You know, what is joy for me might not be joy for somebody else.
Mhm.
So if you're gonna get into personal gifts, I think it will help if you know the person and their circumstances. But the gift, if what it is about loneliness in the other person, the gift of companionship is by far the most profound and meaningful.
Yes.
How do we help someone who has lost a loved one? Because that's a whole different loneliness. It's not by you can't go back to the person. You know, if we're even in a relationship and we break up, we can't look back the person or you know, but they die. How do we deal with that one?
Well, grief is something that, you know, there's nothing to be helped about it necessarily, right? Grief is something you have to go through if you lose somebody that is important to you. There's no up, you can't go around it, you just have to go through the grief.
Right, but how do we?
Yes.
If I know
Person.
somebody lost somebody, how do we help them? What is you know? Because there's people say, "Lord, him gone to heaven," or this, or is at a better place. I don't want to hear you telling me that. How you know what
so
place?
I can relate to
Yeah.
like I had a family member who lost her husband, and her daughter was actually the same age as my son. So at the time of her losing her father, she was 15. My little cousin, and what I gave her for her 16th birthday was a bracelet with a favorite picture of her and her dad. And that was my gift to her, knowing that I couldn't reach out to her any other way. She was in Canada, so it's not like I can just, you know, fly over there and give her a hug. But I was like, you know, I'm thinking about you in this situation, and here's a gift for you, kind of thing. I don't like, her mum did say to me that she really appreciated it, and it was something that she could see every day, you know,
And
like
keep
it was,
on.
and keep. And
Keepsake.
keepsake locket. And that was, I didn't know any other way, because for me, grief, I don't think I handle grief very well, like, because when I say don't handle it very well, meaning that I don't know what to say after that.
Right. This is why
Good
I was
point.
asking Sonia. You know what
Good
can
point.
Yeah.
what can sometimes silence does help as well as it doesn't. What can we say? Because I know sometimes I hear people saying some weird things.
Yeah.
Gone a better place. How you know? Why you think
Yeah.
I want
Yeah,
him at
those
this
are-
place?
Those often don't land with the person very well, you
Not
know.
at all. Oh, you what
know
I
what?
want him with
He's
me?
free
You know
now.
what?
He's finally
Yeah,
free.
He's
Yeah.
free from what?
But you know what?
Can.
That's the thing about it is, right, is that people often say that because they want to fix the person's grief. They want them to feel
Yes.
better,
Yeah.
Yes.
right?
Yes,
And
yes, yes.
that objective is not a useful one. They can't, the person can't feel better. Okay, right, no, that's just not going to happen, you know. And sometimes just saying, listen, I know you're going through, this must be the most difficult you're going through, right? I cannot imagine. And again, if there's anything you need, I'm here for you. Another big thing about grief, you see, is that for somebody trying to be supportive of somebody else in grief, it can be very uncomfortable when you see the person grieving. So if they're breaking down and crying, if they're lamenting, it's hard for somebody to stay in their company and witness that. It's uncomfortable for us to see. And if you can do that, be there, sit with the person in the discomfort that you're feeling, to watch them grieve and cry, that is a gift as well. When they talk about grieving, they say the most profound gift you can give to somebody who is grieving is be willing to witness their grief. Be willing to say, I'm here with you. If you want to bawl, bawl. If you want to just be silent,
I'll just
be
sit
silent.
there with you.
Yes.
I'll be here
Give
with
me
you.
all a lick if it's not too hot.
That's
Well,
the best.
I would also add is, since sometimes you don't know what to say, ask a question. When you don't know what to say, ask a question.
Like what?
Like
How
what?
can I help? How are you feeling right now?
Yeah.
It sounds very vague though.
Daniel, right, so they
That's
have
just,
also
I'm saying that's just an
depending
addition,
on-
So sometimes, in other words, if you don't know what to say, instead of you say something that would make it more awkward, just ask a question. How can I help?
Here's the thing, depending on where they are in the grief cycle. So let's say they've experienced a loss a month ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever. Time has passed since the loss, right? That question that you ask can be very useful, particularly if you say, how are you doing? That's that's going to aggravate them, because they're going to feel like, how you expect me to be
Oh, you mean
Yeah, I've done that
yes,
before.
that's
Yeah, I've done
right?
that before. Yeah,
But if you
didn't
do,
go well.
but what has been shown and demonstrated is if you say, how are you doing today?
Today, yes.
Sometimes that makes a difference
you
as well.
doing
I can
today?
talk to you about what it's like
All right,
today.
now.
And be willing to
Okay.
hear, the good, the bad, and the indifferent, without feeling to give advice. Some people say, boy, I still pop down, me still feel like, I don't know which way is up. And it's almost like too often the person listening to that takes that as an invitation to give advice. Lord, Mrs., bear up yourself, or come with some advice. Advice not useful. Not useful, right? Just witness, just pay witness. And empathy is about acknowledging what you sense the other person is feeling. So if you can even say, boy, that sound rough, may I tell you. You know what I mean? Here's another question too. Sometimes, when is most difficult for you, kind of thing. How is it? When do you find, what time of day, what time of month is most difficult for you? What are your triggers? So you're kind of getting them, if they're comfortable, to talk about it. And sometimes but you have to also be willing to take the cues. If they're not
Can I say
comfortable
something?
talking about it, you can stand down.
Miss Sonia, if somebody is sick, I could say cancer, and the cancer is totally dominating you, how you talk to somebody in that predicament then?
Good question.
Yeah. Again, if the person is willing to talk about it, and that's hard, right? Not most of the times, people just it's uncomfortable
Denial,
for them to
they
talk.
don't want to talk,
Right, exactly. But Daniel's question again is, how are you coping today? Is there anything you need today? sort
Today.
of a thing. You know
So
what
the
I
keys
mean?
today.
Yeah.
Today.
You know, I can, you know, I was thinking maybe I could have bring a little coconut water, but me don't know how you feel about coconut water. Just open a
Things
conversation
like
so
that.
that,
Yeah. Okay.
Simple
yeah. And a
conversation.
big thing is that they need to know that you are willing to be uncomfortable with them. Because if you know that this person is ill, particularly if they're terminally ill, it's difficult for you to sit and be around them, you know. You know,
Yeah.
because most people want to just say, "Hi, boy, me sorry for here," and disappear. They can't, you know, there's a lot of internal tension being around somebody like that, right? And
True.
so it's being willing to be uncomfortable whilst you just bear witness to what they're going through. And again, as I
Right.
said, if you,
And
you know,
and
what do you see
as
today?
Christine say, you know, you're not going through this. You don't have cancer. You know, it's right there a lonely experience for them, because I don't have it. I don't care how great, you know, I can speak of this now because my sister is going through this.
Yeah.
And as I shaved my hair, I didn't know what to do at the beginning of it when I start seeing her lose her hair, and I didn't want to say anything because as it is her journey. She's the
Yeah.
one facing it. But this is my sister that I adore, I love, I worship. And I didn't know what to do. And I just got up with my hair about this. You'll see it, it's on my social media page. And I went to the hairdresser to wash and curl. And while I was there, I said, listen, I'm going to show her how much I don't feel what she's feeling, because you can't. But I'm
yeah,
going to be
support her,
supporting
yeah.
her in my
Going
own
with
way.
it.
And I shaved my head. And she bawled. She cried
Wow.
Yeah.
to say, oh my God, you know, she said it, not me. I just shaved my head in support of her. That's how I
Yes.
felt. And it's the least I could do, because as we know, I'm not in that lonely space with her. Yes, I'm trying, but I'm still not there. Because at the end of the day, when she's by herself going through the chemo, the radiation, whatever else, I'm not feeling it. So as you say, you know, you have to careful what you say to people. And
Yeah.
as you say, I'd call her and say, what you had to eat today? That's one of my favorite lines to do to her, because she's not eating.
Yeah.
So I'll say, what you have to eat today? And sometimes I'll say, listen, I'm not eating anything till I know what you're eating. And
Until
then,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. That's yeah. So I just support.
All right. So I hope you guys don't leave and go anywhere, because, you know, we're at the break. We're at the break, and we're talking about loneliness, especially at this time of year, the holidays. How do we cope? How can you cope? And I hope you can learn something from Sex on the Bridge tonight. I'll be right back. Yep, Get a Man of the Wickedest by Lisa Hyper. Yes, this her song. You know, we've been discussing, but first let me give you the numbers: 876-551-5782 to send a voice note, or you can call in 876-676-4996. And I just want to reintroduce my panelists tonight. I have Lisa Hyper, entertainer. I have Gifty, beautiful name, and I have Daniel, immigrant living in Jamaica. Daniel, Daniel, single, recently went through. We're not selling off nobody, but 425. Yeah, right. And we have Sonia on Zoom and Christine Jackson in Canada. Christine, Daniel and yourself has a breakup. I don't know if anybody else has a breakup on the panel
I
tonight.
know Daniel got through what I went through.
Huh?
I'm sure Daniel didn't go through half of my drama.
No, mine was healthy.
It was a healthy breakup.
Healthy breakup.
It was
A healthy.
Mine was
Hold on,
devastating.
Christine. What do you mean by a healthy breakup?
Healthy-ish.
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 No, we need a little
grown.
more. Why would you break up if it's healthy?
Well, I mean, you put me on the spot now, Carly.
Maybe amicable. Daniel, amicable is the word.
Amicable. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Amicable.
Okay.
Amicable.
That's a good way of breaking up.
Tell me. We want to know. We don't know if it's amicable. Tell me what it means.
Fairly peaceful, you know.
So
So
Like
why did you break up
agreement.
if it mutual agreement or grow to love?
Mutual agreement. Maybe you realize that you're not fully in sync in certain areas.
So the both of you wanted to break up.
I'm not ready to unpack that yet.
That's for therapy, right?
Yeah, that's for therapy.
All right, therapy. When you go, Sonia will help you through that one. Christine, was yours yeah, team host therapy will help you through that. T-host therapy will help you through that.
Yeah.
Life and death. Mine was horrible.
Wow.
And it was horrible because, like, children was involved. Like,
Wow. Yeah.
my grandkids were here, and then even though they're like, he was what, 11 and she was 18, but it was pretty hard. And to find out that somebody use you, just forget what them want, and then like you one got dead now.
Wow.
And up to today I'm still fighting that demon.
Wow.
Yeah, you're gonna get
Because
over
you're
it.
going through a divorce. You're actually not divorced yet, right?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. The man fight me. We're in court.
Wow.
We're in court, big time. But you see, God, it's when you have God, Lisa, you can relate. When you
Yes,
find
I
that
can.
conference
Yes,
one,
I can. And I proudly let
Hold
God
on.
deal with them.
I'm not hearing you.
mhm,
Not
that's
hearing
it.
you.
When you find that zone with God,
Oh, okay.
as Lisa just said, you make him deal with them.
Yeah.
You make him deal with them. Carlene, it's hard, you know? Because when somebody has you in
Give
a
an
zone,
example of something so somebody else who out there can relate to it, you know?
all right. For me, when I met this man and me and him get married now, everything changed.
After you got married.
He's paying all the bills because a hard working man. He might pay all of the bills now. So you get comfortable. You live that dream life where you want it all your life. You get a new car. You know, like you don't need nothing. You go out with your man 2 hour wall and you feel good in public. And then of course people gonna be like, to show off you, watch her. And you hold your head high because now it's your husband. So you're supposed to walk high now. Not knowing to say it was all a plan.
Wow.
It was all a plan, you know?
A plan for
Yeah,
what?
and you became that victim now.
What was it a plan for?
To get him papers at Canada. And to get him woman at Canada after. And him children. And that's what he did to me. So he threw on this big dirty house on me. But God is a good God. And Miss Sonia, let me tell you something. He's a psychologist they sent me to. And he's a psychologist told me, find a platform and release what hurting inside of you. Because what was building up could have killed me. And that's why I started my Wednesday night, Carlene.
Yes, I know.
And because the pandemic came down to you couldn't interact with people, you know? So, hey, I'm here to tell every woman, love yourself. My video was off.
Wow.
Turn on. You,
Mhm,
you press
so-
the off the video? We're hearing you. We're just not seeing you.
I don't know what I did. Bro, what did I do over here?
I'm not
I
seeing
touched
her.
something.
All right, we're seeing you. We're seeing you. We're
Okay.
not seeing her though, but we're seeing you. All right. Continue,
Okay.
continue, Christine.
No, I was just saying that, ladies, you know, when you find somebody, a husband, seek them out first, yeah? Dig deep. Very,
But sometimes
very, very,
they
very
pretend
deep.
real good.
Yeah, they pretend.
Yeah, very,
that
very
could,
deep.
and that could last for years.
Yup.
Yeah.
Yup.
So
It take
how
a
long you
while.
were with him? How long you were with him?
How long were you with him?
I met him in 2016 and I got married in 2017 to him. So it was no big,
Wow.
long time. But it's somebody that was, because I'm sickly, right? I have arthritis in both knees. And at one point I couldn't walk. And it's during them fragile time that I met this
Oh,
individual.
you were vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
Yeah, very, very. And then, you know, he lived far. And then he would literally take the bus and come visit me and help me. Help me out, drive a car to the doctor, cook, and, you know, he just did it. Not knowing it was all a plan.
So you think it was completely a plan? There's no genuine
all a
love at
plan.
all?
No. How could you love somebody and all right, on your anniversary, you're going to look on the person and say, I forgot Jamaica, you know. Like tonight and tomorrow our anniversary. And then 2 days after would be your birthday. What's all the plan?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I want to interject on something because while I was coming here, I was listening to another radio station where they were talking about meeting the parents, and a year is a long time for a relationship. And it's funny that you're speaking about this now because you met at that year, then within a year you got married, right? And a year is not a long time to get to know someone. So, they were debating on the fact that, by the way, I'm not sure which radio station, I was in a taxi, and it was like, they were debating on the fact that a year is a long time to get to know someone. And, hearing your story right now just seems to show that, a year, anyone could pull themselves up to who they want to be or put this persona. And they can even carry it on for how many years? It could go on
many more than
many
a year.
more years. There's movies about this stuff that you never know who you're dealing with,
it's
kind
real.
of thing. And it just goes to show that you even when you say dig deep, there is this thing of if you dig deep, you might find what you're looking for, and it's like people are afraid to look for that answer. So I hear everything, and then it affects your mental health when you're like, you're constantly suspicious and, questioning the person. And then, that's where when that person is gone, that's where the loneliness feels. It's kind of, okay, well, this person he's left and she's left, and it just creates a whole nother.
And then you know what the worst part about it?
System.
As a psychologist, Miss Sonia, you can know this, and Daniel as well too. When them gone and you realize everything you have been accusing that individual of,
It's true.
it is 100% true. Sonia, you are the mad one or the crazy one here because they let it look like you're the crazy one here. Where is them create that drama in your life? So you got to be strong. And I give God thanks that I was strong enough. Thank my kids, thank people like Carlene. Because when I reached out to you and I told you my story, Carlene, you were like, you should have called me. You were there for me as a friend, You never put me down. And I'm here in Canada, and trust me, them give me water for carry a basket when them realize about my story. Them chat all kind of thing, and I felt so bad. I felt so bad because Carlene can tell I'm a very known person in Canada, and
First female promoter.
Really?
Yes.
yeah. So
First female promoter.
they did me so bad, and it was like a big laughing stock for them here.
Wow.
But you know what I learned? The whole heap of them that was laughing is going through worse than what I went through. And because I'm open and I talk my story, I mean, I had nothing.
So this guy was a younger guy or your age group?
No, well, he was 7 years younger than me,
Okay.
and that's not a big difference because I couldn't be his mother. 7.
No.
So as somebody were big enough, mature enough, or have sense,
Yeah.
But then come for use and abuse. So we are for strong.
But then, in life, like I always tell my children, like we might see when things happen to us as a negative, but it's actually a season of strength. It's just strength, and we learn our lessons from it.
Yeah.
So maybe like, as human beings, we have this kind heart and just spreading the kindness, not knowing that they are persons that we need to be more aware of. And
Sonia has to go short.
Oh.
Well, I want her to stay, but it's not her time of the night.
Yes, go.
And Sonia, what advice would you give to people who in marriage, breaking up, relationship, breaking up? What advice would you give them, if there is any?
Wow. Carlene, you're throwing some heavy ones at me, man. Okay, so they're breaking up, and I guess they want to land on their feet, as it were, and move ahead. I think, one of the first things is if you have a network of friends and family to kind of lean on them. If you do, right? This is the time where you need, you need your peeps, that can really help. as
Yep.
well. You know what I
Yes.
mean? That's a great thing. The
Yes.
Daniel talked about moving in terms of taking care of the temple. That is very important, you know.
Yes.
Eat, sleep, exercise. Now you have to really take care of yourself because you're more susceptible to illness now because of the
Right.
stress you're going through from the breakup, you know. So it's very important
Yes.
to pay attention. And those are things that you can control, you know. A lot of times in these stressful situations, we're focusing on things we can't control. Like we
Right.
want the person back or we want to undo things that happened in the past. We don't have any control over that. But we do have control over taking care of ourselves to the best
Yes.
ability, you know. In terms of taking care of your emotional health too, like I said, to the extent that you have friends and families that you can just share with and be there for you
Yeah.
at the time, you know, that can also make a difference.
It did. It
Um,
really did.
yeah, so I those are the two things that I would certainly start off to put at the top of your list.
But it still bothers me. You know
Okay,
what you guys
going
talked
to.
about earlier. I still have up that big shield around me. And then, like for instance, after this show, I'll find myself in a little quiet zone in my room again. So it still bothers. And as Christmas coming on now, I find that knowing you're married, your husband should be there. It's a thought in your head that nah go away.
Yeah, yeah.
So where
Yeah,
did you go
Toni
wrong? You know what I mean?
Braxton,
You
she
keep asking
sings about
yourself the
this.
question, where you go wrong?
So that's a lot of, so we call that like intrusive thoughts, Christine,
Yes,
where all of these
intrusive.
thoughts just keep coming. You know, it's like, you
Yeah.
know, you don't ask them to come, you don't like them, you don't want these thoughts,
Right.
but it's almost like them just coming out of
Yeah.
nowhere. You know what I mean? For some people, the meditation and the mindfulness is one thing that can help them to kind of almost step away from their thoughts rather than get entangled in them, you know? So that kind of mindfulness meditation can help some people, you know. For some people also distraction tactics can help, you know, distraction on watching TV, reading a book or something to distract you. It doesn't help everybody, Christine, I would tell you that, you know what I mean? Doing a hobby, doing something that fills you up,
Yeah,
you know
'cause
what
she
I
has
mean?
a show on
Something that
Wednesday
you
night.
enjoy.
That's
Sorry?
what kept me going the Wednesday night.
Yeah,
Yeah, she has a show
exactly.
on,
So,
on
for
And you
example,
know what?
invest in your time and your heart
When
in
the
your
man
program.
charged you, when him charged me, that was the hardest part. When he had them come lock me up, and I'm like, God, what did you know?
What? He didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't hear.
Charge you how? I don't understand.
When he came back from Jamaica, from his rendezvous with his baby mother, he had the police come lock me up. Come and cut up him clothes, the clothes I had bought when he was packing to go to Jamaica. Yeah, and the man carried the clothes them and the suitcase to the police and tell him to charge me for uttering deadly threat to him and his baby mother. Me will help you in Canada.
No comment. No
And they
comment.
came and arrested me.
Some clothes cut up.
No comment. No comment.
All
right,
You're gonna send someone to
Sonia,
Ladies,
what's up?
that's why I tell me stay strong. It's because it's not easy. And people wonder why there's so much mental illness out there. Little things like this.
No, it's not little.
Little things
Yeah.
like this trigger you off, man, and can make you all want to kill yourself.
All right, Sonia, I want to thank you so very much for being
Thank you.
here. And I want you to go because I want you to come back when when Danelia gets you on the program and you
She
said, no,
would
no,
impress that I
I
would talk
can't
to.
sleep. So thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having
You're
me.
most welcome. And I'll tell
David,
you,
Daniel, all the best.
Blessings.
can we
Alright.
get some voice? We have any voice note? We're going to listen.
Oh, sorry. Me you're talking to Carlene?
No. The voice
Okay.
note.
All right. Night, everybody.
Night. Thank you
Good
so
night,
very
everyone.
much.
Holiday loneliness. I mean, it's pretty intense, you know. It's especially because it's a time of year when, you know, it's just this overpouring of love and fellowship and just vibes, and everybody's just like touching on each other and kissing on each other, and you know, it's all of these feelings, and you want just there by yourself, just not nobody or nobody know why you. It's just depending on where you are in your life. It's, you know, it can be, well, for me, I'm not going through holiday loneliness this year, but I have in previous years, and it can be a little bit distressing at times because, as I said, it's just that time of love and feelings, and you kind of feel, like you're missing out on that whole experience. So for me, I usually try ahead of time, especially if I'm able to see that I'm gonna be in this situation for the holidays, before the holidays. I try to shoot my shot. So it's just like, let's try to rekindle some old flings, or let me just actually go out and try to meet someone fresh and new, that I can share the holidays with. So I usually have that frame of mind. I mean, that mindset, rather, when the holidays comes around, if I'm not dating, or since I've been out of like a serious committed relationship, that has been the case. But it gets lonely, of course. So, I mean, let's walk with my mistletoe.
Caller, good night.
Me
Welcome to
too,
Sex on the
moment
Bridge.
that.
Hello, good night.
Hello, good night. Welcome to Sex on the Bridge.
Yes, I find the topic quite interesting.
Thank you.
Yes, I decided just want to call in, and as a single person,
Okay.
single life is not easy.
Telling you.
Yes, I'm a 65-year-old man, and when you're single, it's not easy at all.
Wow.
Where are you calling from? Just to see if.
I'm calling from Jamaica.
Okay, Kingston.
That is correct, man.
Okay, so you don't have a partner?
Not at all.
Okay.
Most of our relationship
How do
now
you
for the
cope
past,
with loneliness now, though?
It's not easy, It's
What-
not easy. It's very challenging at times, but sometimes you have to just try to deal with the issues,
Yes.
Yeah, man, because when you go out and come in and, you don't have anyone to talk with and what have you, most of the time what I do, I just sit and listen to some music sometimes.
Okay.
What keep me going sometimes.
All right. All right. Thank you so for yeah, you have a question or anything? Because I hope you were listening from the beginning, where Sonia, the psychologist, was helping us through, dealing with the loneliness, dealing with the heartbreaks, dealing with griefs, just going through the holidays. What are some of the things we could do? I don't know if you have family or even just friends. As Christine in Canada, she said she walked, when she got, so did Lisa, they said they walked. And Daniel say, find something that you like. I don't know if you can bake. Gifty
Yes, man, I'm good at-
got
I'm
a
good at
car and
baking.
took her around the island, and it helped.
Yeah, I'm a person like this. I'm good in the kitchen, so I like to do baking.
Right. So,
See
bake and give away the cookies or sell them. It helps.
So this program come on every Tuesday night?
Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. right here on the Bridge 99 FM. And it's called Sex on the Bridge with me, Dancehall Queen Carlene, as the main host. And then I have... All right, so continue listening because we have some other calls and voice note. And I want you to stay on and listen. All right? And I hope to hear you next week, Tuesday.
Yes, I'll definitely tune in next week Tuesday, guys.
All right. Thank you so very much. You see, yeah, voice note. She said a voice note.
Coping with loneliness. That's an interesting topic. How do I cope with loneliness? I cope with loneliness by looking at old photos, videos, have times we have shared, making video calls, burying myself into work, going to the gym, and such other activities. And I tend to then call my loved one at the end of the evening, share my day with them, ask them about their day, and we're sharing that aspect. Then we set goals and targets of when we will see each other again, and then we have that to look forward to. However, it can also be depressing. You can only do that much, and then there are times when you're going to bed alone, or you want to go and see a movie or go for a walk, and there's no one to do it with you. So it is a real struggle at times, but the alternative is to be occupied and share as much as you can with a person while you're away from them. So that's my way of coping. It's not easy. It's very challenging, but hey, what can we do? Coping.
Wow. So we're more? We have more? Okay, let me hear one more.
Yeah, holiday loneliness is, I would say it highs and it lows, because on one hand you're happy saying me not have nobody where take advantage of me and I treat me the most disrespectful way, and then on another hand you're lonely and you want somebody. I'm lonely and I would want somebody for, to spend the holiday with. When you look at, especially me as a person who love going on social media, you see everybody people post them couples picture in them pajamas and stuff. I would also want to be that person where in my pajama with my partner, my little dog, because we're not ready for a baby yet, and enjoying the Christmas with my significant other. So it definitely have its highs and it lows, and it's tough, but I also love the food, the eating part of the holiday. I love to eat, and I love when my mother cook and I sit down and I eat. And know say I have she at the end of the day, and other family member when we can, would at the end I'm not so lonely, but still me I like every now and then I would like a significant other to be there with me, because nothing beat that to me. Apart, yes, you have your family and everything, but you'd still also like to have that intimacy with somebody during the holiday season.
Sex on the bridge. Holiday loneliness. Well, sometimes I can tell you, Kevin the mobile mechanic in Canada. Sometimes, most of the time, I get lonely in the holiday season because my mom and my sisters are in Jamaica, but I have my daughters here and stuff. But when it comes to the sexual part of loneliness now in the Christmas season, I dress my right hand, in Mrs. Santa Claus outfit, and I turn off the light and I get the Vaseline and I go to town. Remember, I tell you, I come upstairs smiling. I relieve my loneliness.
We have one more?
You don't need no rum.
Watch a lot of comedy.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
You see,
As a child of God,
That's how
hope.
Yeah, comedy
Hope.
helps.
comedy helps.
Eh?
what did you
Hope.
say, Christine?
The same the loneliness now. As a child of God, right?
Right.
People are gonna judge us because you're a Christian. Lisa, we're not supposed to have feelings. We're not supposed to feel lonely then. Like have sexual
Right.
feelings.
Sexual urges shouldn't come.
About it. In the Christmas, we don't have to talk about it because we say we're a child of God now.
Yeah, but you still have sexual urges.
You
No,
know,
we
you
don't
man, but
use
you eat salt, though. You eat salt?
Yeah. Yeah.
How
You put salt in your food?
Of course. Tell
Saying
her
I must
what
have
message.
heard.
how you
Some
deal with
people
it?
send some message because I said I'm coming on this program. And because I'm hear the word sex in the program, them start.
It come with discipline and everything come with discipline.
How do you
know?
cope with it though? How do you cope
Discipline.
with the sexual part of it?
Discipline. Oh, sometimes I play with myself.
Christine,
Yeah,
how
but
do you
it's-
cope with it?
How do I cope with that part? I don't think about it.
No,
just don't
but
think about
you
it.
have to just be disciplined.
Yeah, you have
Daniel-
to be
Yes,
disciplined.
that's the right word,
Yeah.
discipline.
Daniel,
We never touch that one there, though. Never touch that one there.
Daniel,
I got nothing. No
touch
comment.
that one.
No
You know,
comment.
Daniel, you don't have no Christmas hat.
That is true, Daniel. Speak
No
it
comment.
true,
no
Daniel.
Santa Claus.
No,
No,
no
Mrs.
comment.
Mrs. Claus. Yeah, no Mrs. Claus.
How do you deal with gifted?
Lisa, you're coming to Canada, correct?
Yes. When you ready, are you more bring me? I'm ready
No,
now.
we're going to dance out.
Hold on,
But you
hold,
coming, I see
hold
you
on,
coming,
hold on,
you
Christine. Hold on.
She's coming back
Gifted,
to me.
how do you deal with it?
I eat a lot of desserts,
Okay.
custard and cake, and because I was celibate for coming up 6 years now, And
by choice, of course, because you're an attractive woman,
by
so it's
by choice. I've had to learn to be disciplined, and and just like one of the callers said, going back into his phone and rekindling with persons. I had a lot of that, and I had to be like, no, sorry, I'm watching a comedy. Can I join you? No, you can't. All these kind of things. But and there were moments where I had to end up touching myself, having to go through that process because it is a release, as they say, like it's within the body. And I'm not going to place myself in a situation with someone just for the sake of releasing and then have to deal with
we're women,
that
we
emotion.
don't do that.
So for me it was like having to go through that those seasons, because it wasn't just a one time, it would be one time. When I say not a one time, it wasn't one time within that year of me being celibate, but it took it took seasons where it my body needed that release. And there were times in London it's not as easy to go out and go for a run. But I purchased a bicycle, and when I had those moments, I just go and ride a bike. But taking my mind off of it was very hard. Yeah.
And sometimes
at nighttime, especially.
In my case, where my partner is overseas, and I know what's happening and how it's gonna happen, and there is times I'm not alone. My daughter is always with me. He's not alone. He's with his family. And you gradually, as you said, Christine, you mental. So I break my mind up to say, you know what? I'm going to think about other things. I bake, Christine. So I bake my fruit cake. I bake my puddings. And yes, I'm baking this Christmas.
My cake reach.
And I'd put my mind into getting that satisfaction of saying, you know what? I know what I'm holding on to. And as that caller called and said, I look back on the pictures, the videos, and you get to speak to them. So it's not like we're in jail or anything where you don't have that choice. So, thank God for modern technology. You can call, and sometimes you strain away, you're getting hot, as we're human being, and you say, let me go bed and get this thought out of my head. And you can go to the I listen to Raga Shanti. So tomorrow night, yes, I get busy and I'm cracking up for the 2 hours. And when I'm done, I'm tired. So I just end up falling asleep. I like Christmas movies. So Allmark is I love Christmas movie. So I would listen and watch the movie and say, Lord God, I can't wait. Counting down when I see him again. And so it's those kind of things that helps.
Yeah. And Carlene, just like you said, those are, if it's to deal with sexual tension as well, to have a shower. I have a playlist on my phone, is my shower therapy, and I literally just play music, soul music. It's a whole variety, even cussing a man kind of situation as well comes into that. Those kind of music, so those are times where you can release tension, where it doesn't have to be a sexual moment, but you can
lead into something else, so you forget about it.
You just forget about it, because sometimes even when you try to forget it one time, it will creep back up again, and it will come back up in certain times when you don't want it to be. So having that shower therapy for me is when anytime I'm feeling like that, I lock myself away from the kids. I'll be like, listen, you guys do you for a bit. I'm going in the shower. And they know, because once I start playing my music, I'm putting on a diffuser. So my diffuser has disco lights, and I've turned off the lights. So I'm having a full party inside the shower.
In your head.
And then running up my water bill and my heater.
Thank God it's not the light bill with the vibrator. And you know what too?
Exactly. See over there, laugh.
Yes. Daniel, how do you cope with it? As a man.
Pump iron. I'm a gym rat.
Okay.
Lift weights.
And that releases it. Doesn't that make you hot? More turned on? Because your blood pumping through? Or does it?
Pump iron, meditate, as I said, go back to nature. Go back to nature,
What about if you don't have a garden?
No man, Jamaica green man find somewhere green for walk up.
okay.
You have all
Oh, that's
Emancipation
cute.
Park. You can walk up and do that.
At night?
Go to
Look
bed
here,
early,
you know
go
when
to
you-
bed early. You're not gonna draw me out today.
No, I'm just asking. You know, I just want to know.
But you know, Lisa, when you know you're hot and need a man, is when you see all the old couple kissing and they turn
and
you
you
on.
say you listen to Lisa, so you know how does the process of
You
You
see an
and then-
old couple kissing, two whole horrible, and
And
then you
then
turn
also
on.
creativity too. Put it into creativity, like business ideas and strategizing.
Really?
Yeah, put that energy,
What?
channel that energy.
Yeah,
into it.
more and be like you when
I
we grow up.
know.
No,
Especially okay, you're in your bed, Daniel. It's nighttime.
Yeah.
And you see one sexy girl winding up on the TV.
Or on your feed when you looking on Instagram.
Well, we don't really use Instagram
Okay.
like
No,
that still.
he's home in bed, just had a shower, feeling yourself. You know that feeling? Because, Christine, you know there's time we think we're so gorgeous and beautiful and we're bathing and so we're gonna be this.
Yeah.
And then you're going to bed and you're like, oh God, I'm sleeping again alone.
Lord.
I have all this nice negligee, I smell good. And you know, sometimes we feel cleaner than some. Here, wash and you're Daniel. No, that's you.
I just go to bed. Just go to
But
bed.
then you have business on your mind.
I'm Mary
Like,
J.
Yeah,
I've learned to
Go
sing
to the
that
business,
song.
Daniel, you're not being fair to us.
No.
We're telling you the things that you're
Yes,
Get to
I
the business.
was.
to the business.
Do you have that booty call, girl?
Yeah.
Because men do that.
Well, I'm still mourning my breakup, I'm still healing, so
okay.
can't be.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, you're one of the few men. You're one of the few men.
Called semen retention. I do a thing called semen retention. Yeah, but I don't know if you know about it.
Well, you're one of the few men, Daniel, because men tend to run into just sex. When they have a-
No, well, look, no, I am a reform womanizer, So a reform womanizer. So at some point in time, you realize you just do the same patterns over and over and over and over
and no different result.
Which is why this last relationship was a growth relationship. So normally, when me do a breakup, them say the best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody. So normally, what I would do is just do road again. Just do road. You're a Scorpio. So Scorpios. So this time around now, I do what them call semen retention. So semen retention now
Is there something brewing right here? That would be That would be very nice.
My thing is a lot of people say things about Scorpio. So what is it about the Scorpios?
We'll get a bad rap. How's it bad rap? We're misunderstood.
Okay,
we're misunderstood.
They're sexual. They're very sexual.
I'm a Sagittarian.
Right.
And they're genuine.
They are the bad ones. We are the bad ones.
What's a bad rap? When they say
them think we're wild, but what it is that what we're looking for is a deep connection.
Yeah.
That is it.
Okay. Yeah, I get that.
Sagittarius men are wild.
Such people wild. Such
No, you
people.
can't say such
He dated you broke up with a Sagittarius?
Sagittarius men are lies.
Aquarius.
So you're going like say
What
that's
is- what is-
Sagittarius.
what
No, but we know about such people. We know about
What's Aquarius again? Is that February?
January, February. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
but
yeah.
then they say that that's those. Okay, they say they're good
water
sexual
signs.
partners, but
Yes. Yes.
intellect-wise and everything else, it was.
So for me, I just
Any more voice notes?
we just change the game this time around.
And it will work. It will work for you this time.
And that's really what it should
'Cause
be.
you
Now,
said
if
it
you
was
do it
growth.
this way and it didn't work, try it another way.
Yeah.
You said it was growth
I
as
don't
well.
understand why we do it the same way and expect it to work.
Because some people love pain.
Oh.
Some people love pain. Want to go back to that pain
No, you have some
over and-
people really love playing for true.
What he's doing is the best way right now. It was an old-time skettle, as my brother Kevin would have said. It was. So but he terms it nicely. He said it was what's the word?
Reform.
Reform womanizer.
A reform womanizer.
You say nice it up. I
Try
say my
real
nice
man.
way up tonight.
Yeah, real
I
man.
don't want to say my nice way up and I go like.
Or a retired gallis. You want to say retired gallis? What are the two? Retired gallis.
No, but retirement is
Not a bad thing.
Yeah, but you said
There's a
reform,
time
so you
for
want to be
everything.
better. But when you retired,
Exactly.
you're not reformed though, because
Not
you've
necessarily, right? You
It's-
know.
Reformed.
yeah, because I'm just trying to think like when you
Reformed.
retired, you can go back.
No, reformed.
Yeah. Well, usually when you retire, you should be done.
Yeah,
You know, retire mean
You're done,
No,
yeah.
I'm not done, man.
You don't sound like him done.
Lisa, come on, man. Lisa,
No, man. He's
I like
just
your
taking.
comment.
He's taking a
Sorry.
break.
Yeah.
And which is good. Sometimes as people we should take time for
they say
ourselves.
insanity is doing the same thing the same way and expecting different results.
Exactly.
So I have to change up my change
Oh,
up.
so you change the way how you do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
change
that's
the flow.
reform.
Yeah, I change the
But
flow.
then you're not
now.
retired
change
though.
none of
You're
it.
not
Just
leaving
change the way
it.
how you do it.
Doing things.
Everything.
You
Me
go on,
change
like,
everything.
too full of
Me
style.
change up everything, man. Me change
No,
up
he's
everything.
real. He's saying it as it is. He's right.
New approach.
Yes.
That's the right way. New
Yes.
approach. Just don't do people.
And what I do now is I limit the things that would trigger the addiction. So like Instagram now,
Okay.
what I'm gonna do is I only use Instagram for business. I'm gonna check Instagram a certain amount of time a day. I'm gonna delete it off of my phone.
You delete it.
Delete
Then
it off of my phone
re-
and re-put people think I'm mad. So I get up in the morning, load up Instagram, check my business page, delete it off. And then in the afternoon, one more time, and in the night, and that's it. I take it because I was getting addicted to Instagram.
Okay.
Porn, me not watch porn no more. Most people are addicted to
It's
porn. They
true.
don't want to
Social
talk about
media
it.
does
Porn is
that.
very addictive. One of the things that
Me not addictive.
no more a lot more most men
yeah.
men now are
Why though? Why?
It's available
Visual.
visual, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, the
men,
pandemic had a lot to do
men
with
think
it too
with their
because
eyes,
Go out.
not their
So
brains.
I just do things that limit the triggers, you know.
And what got you in that position in the first place?
Yeah, and the girls know that I would normally draw back, delete them number out of my phone now, so I have a choice.
Okay.
So sometimes we just see some random number come up and say, oh,
Yeah,
right,
for that.
yeah. So we just we're trying to do
That's part
better
of
here.
changing. That's
Yeah.
part of
So,
changes.
one question.
Yes.
One
One
question.
question for everybody. Okay? Now that we are out of the pandemic stage, we're so-called going back to normal, right? Did you guys like it better then or now?
Like it better now.
You like it now? When it comes
She's an
back to
entertainer.
so-called real?
She's an entertainer, so she's not gonna want the lockdown. That's her breadwinning.
But during the pandemic, you guys were working still, mostly by...
No, not in
Like
Jamaica.
how we want to.
Not in Jamaica.
It's like
Okay.
we were being.
I remember they couldn't go to anywhere.
Yeah.
No, but you did have people that were on social, like. You know.
Yeah.
No,
I asked
they're
that
on
question
social
because...
media. That don't count.
No? Well, I asked that because right now, during the pandemic, they had a saying that men and some women couldn't get the chance to go out.
Oh
Play
yeah,
with
yeah,
sight,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah. We see
They
that one
had
there.
to stay home with the wife and...
Yes,
Well,
a lot of
But
ladies.
I felt like that period of time should have been a time to reform. And to get to know who you are, because
Exactly.
when you're
I had
always
that topic.
together, when you're always together, and then that person is being forced away from you, then it challenges you as a person to figure out who you are without that person. So I kind of like, for me, even though I wasn't with a partner at the time, but I had a long distance relationship. And that in itself, because I was always with this person, coming home to this person, and then when the long distance came, I started to figure out myself what I like, because there were times where I did things because he liked that. And then I had to switch it, because then I was like, hold on, I'm by myself and he normally wants this. Now what do I want? What do I like?
Yeah,
You know,
so
so I felt it was important.
Well, that
Losing
didn't work
yourself.
for everybody.
Yeah,
I
losing
did a
yourself.
my topic a couple weeks ago was the pandemic breakup and the pandemic finding love in the pandemic. And the breakup took place in a lot of homes, a lot of people, because the men couldn't cheat, the women couldn't cheat, so they had to stick with the wife that they only marry for whatever the reason were. And so life was mashing up both ways, because the side chick realized this is a lose out for me, and then the man now can't stomach the wife, And so, yeah, we had a lot of disaster in the pandemic, a lot.
Wow.
No,
All right, we
now
have two more
Christmas is
voice notes.
here.
All right, let's hear it.
Yep.
I think the loneliness is an opportunity to be alone and know yourself. You know, love upon yourself a little bit more so you can understand how to tell somebody when you have company how you want it done. Yeah, happy holidays.
Yeah, well, she's correct. Love up on yourself, but some things is easier said than done.
Yeah.
And especially if you're accustomed to. You know, may have a man 24/7 a day, you know, whatever, and then this man just,
And then it
as
just
Christine said,
change.
yeah.
Yeah,
she
but
had-
then when them change, why them behave like there's no changes? The change are evident because we already used to a certain pattern. So when you not change and change the pattern, why
it's
not
obvious.
behave like say what we are mad of?
Yeah, well, we're crazy because you didn't start like that.
Yeah.
You start by calling me.
You
you
don't
wake
brought
up.
me in another way there
Yeah.
already. So when you change, you find somebody else.
Or they were pretending.
You was pretending.
Yeah.
You know, we feel like woman an idiot.
Well, all I know, you know, from
You
me,
better don't comment.
I've learned, and may I cope and thank friends like Carlene, you know, my family, my kids, them.
And keeping
I'm
it real
learning
show.
You know, my Wednesday night. You guys come on for
You're
Wednesday night.
You're
whenever.
gonna be okay.
She's
This
getting
too-
there, man.
good.
This
Trust me,
too
last
shall
year,
pass.
this time, she couldn't talk without material.
Yeah, this too
Yeah.
shall pass.
She's getting there.
And it a go come a time you wonder where did I do with him.
Yeah.
That day they go come where you wonder you want beat yourself. Where did I do with him?
It's a process walking in the valley. as they
Yeah.
say.
It is so true. Real
You go alright, man.
All right, we have
I
another
heard,
voice
but I'll
note.
be all right. Thank you guys for having me on this
We're not-
program tonight. Carlene, I love you at the first. Marina, come on, and I watch it, and I love it, and I will be a regular watcher.
There you go.
And thank you, Lisa. When you come to Canada, please
Take care of yourself.
Blessings.
And love upon yourselves now.
We're not leaving yet. We
Amen.
have another voice
Oh,
note. You're not leaving.
Oh.
I was leaving. No, I don't want to leave.
No, we're not finished yet.
Okay.
Yeah. It's only 11 more minutes and we're done. Time flies when you're having fun. Let me hear the voice
Time.
note.
You just move from out of the family house and you're on your own, so you just have to come up with your own tradition and where you have to do for cope with the loneliness, cause and every time you have the friend in my own where you can link up with, so you have to come up with many ways. I say one of my greatest coping mechanism is like try to block it out and not really think about it and focus more upon like variables where I can control, like since me an artist, me write some music, you see me, watch some TV, very good way. Smoke some weed, you see me. If we can be together in person, maybe we can talk over the phone or something like that, you see me. But in our time, we're in the holidays when family, the cheeriness and everything, I try to penetrate it as much, and even if it come up when I feel super lonely and everything, we just don't make the stress cut get down, you know, because them see a lot of people get suicidal and feel weak around this time of year, you know. So I can understand that. So you just have to come up with things for occupy your mind, and it's just for a short period of time and just pull through it like what you pull through all the way through the year, you know. It more is that the loneliness has steer you more directly in your face because everybody's around family and everything, but it can't to make the depression or the anxiety or the feeling of loneliness get you down. Yeah. So just do whatever in your power, even if you have to smoke a one spliff, you know, go sleep.
Lord Jesus. That one is tough still, you know, tough because when it comes to holiday, especially upon Christmas time, and you're lonely, I want hell of a something. All I do, I take food to eat and walk and drive around and look on the people, them shop out the street and cook and eat and everything. Yeah, we not gonna tell no lie. We feel like we want some partner every now and then, yes. But what we are gonna do, because them man are wicked and liar and thieves, so sometimes you just relax yourself and go pray to God and nobody about it.
And not bother worry about it. Because some things really is above and beyond our control, and you have to take it to a higher being. All right. So Christine, as she's on Zoom, final note, tell us how we can see you, how you can reach, what's your next step?
Okay, well, come on my Wednesday night, 9:00, on Instagram, Danielle. It's called Keeping It Real. Christine Jackson, lady promoter. And come over there and let's talk.
All right.
Lisa, same.
Right,
And this young lady from England.
I definitely will come around them ungrateful man here and unfaithful. Wanna come around them.
Daniel, how will we get in touch with you? And yes, he's single. What's next?
You can follow Daniel me on IG, Daniel Tafari, Daniel Tafareye. Yeah. And my business page, long story short, Jamaica's first and only monthly storytelling showcase. Ooh. So Jamaicans come and tell a true story about themselves in 7 minutes or less. Okay. Very exciting cultural experience. Yeah, please follow. I would love to have your story.
Christine.
No problem.
and Carlene's story and Lisa's story.
Everybody have a story, everybody, and that's what my program is all about. I give people a chance to let it go.
Lisa's story. My story, I'm gonna act it up.
Lisa.
My story, well fiery.
Gifty?
Yes. Oh, what was the question?
What's your last word? Final note? How you can get in touch with you if anything coming up?
So, everyone have a lovely holiday and stay safe. Just enjoy being yourself. Get the wine if you don't drink.
Slow wine.
And slow wine to music. Go into the shower, go on the beach. Those for those in Jamaica. As for those abroad, just find something that would bring some happiness. There's some new shows on Netflix, I guess. So, yeah. Stay tuned to that.
Movie.
Lisa?
Guys, just look out for my new single, Stress Ooh, Can't Do Me Nothing. Have a lovely holiday. Everything about life is spiritual. Nothing about life is coincidental. Stay strong. Eat food. Get fat. Lose weight. Yeah.
No man, but you have to DJ. You have to do something for me.
Yeah.
You know me not.
Yeah.
You know me not let you loose, Lisa. You think you're gonna get right? No man. Anything new or anything.
All a girl a go and she can't do me nothing. Talk them attack, can't touch a button. Small waist, cute belly button. That they make me fat, he hate me for nothing. Say me hype that no shape me for nothing. Man them a touch could do pay me for nothing. Say them a beef, me leave mutton. A that they make me fat, he hate me for nothing. Then you like, and nobody me would have on me. The skinny foot with big bottom that crony.
And your page?
Yes, Lisa_hyper, that is Instagram. Lisa Hyper Music with a Q, that's Twitter. Lisa Hyper, Facebook. Bookings 407-844-3407.
And what you have anything coming up for the December so we can see you? Any shows?
Well, yes, I have Boombox Friday coming this Friday. I have a next live event Sunday, Bad Bull live show Sunday. I'm keeping my baby's memorial the 15th of December, so you can look out for that one. I'm gonna put some artists. I think I'm gonna put Sanchez, Kevin Downswell, Malidan, some of the local young artists them. So I have a lot going on. Oh, I want you in my movie.
No problem.
I'm gonna do a movie about my life.
No problem. I'll be there.
Oh, you can play my mommy.
Yes, I can. I'll play whoever.
Yeah, because Oliver is gonna be in it. Audrey Reed, Kadeem, Paul Campbell, Abel. The little young comedian them. I'm gonna add them to it.
Sound good. You know, I've known her before Lisa Iper. She taught my
Yeah.
daughter dancing.
Yeah.
Yes, before Lisa
It was an
Hyper.
honor for me as a young girl.
And I've never called on her, and you know, because I try to push the artist as best as I
Yeah.
can in my own little format, my own little way. And of course, Sex on the Bridge is a big way because, you know, we're not only on radio, we're shown all over the world. So it's always my pleasure when I call on my female, especially my female friends in the industry, and they respond. Not to say the males don't too, but I tend to lean to the females
Yes.
mostly, as I think
Oh
they
my
need
God.
more help than the
Help,
men,
yeah.
because they're still struggling through. They're fighting with each other. They're fighting the man. You know, they're
Yeah.
getting the fights left, right, and center.
Center.
And I just want to support Lisa in whatever endeavors
Yeah.
she has, and as you say, you're doing it your way.
Thank
And
you.
that's
Yes.
important.
I really
You know,
appreciate
it's
it.
your way. So first, you know, I have to thank everybody. Christine, I want to thank you so
You're
very
welcome.
much.
You're
And I'll
welcome.
listen to you. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, my good.
Yes.
Good night, everybody. Pleasure
Yes.
meeting everybody.
And I want to
It
thank
was
all
awesome.
Lisa, Gifty,
Thank you for having
and
me.
Daniel. Thank you for being here for the 2 hours going through it.
Thank
So
you for
time
having me,
flies when you're having fun. And of course, I want to thank my producer, Danelia Doyle, and of course my student engineer, Kevin Williams. Yes, and I want to big up my hair, Cheryl Luxudal. She didn't do it, but it's her hair, right? 'Cause she killed me to see this mess. And of course, you know, Crystal, my baby, feel well, get well. Mommy loves you, Ryan. Mwah. And I do want to tell you how you can get my cakes. So in England, yes, it's Baller Pot. Baller's Pot of Paradise. What is this? 201 to 203 Portland Road, South Norwood, London. Thus SW whatever. You know the thing. I'll post it on the thing. There's too much number one. And you're England something there, man. Yeah, it will be on my IG. And also in Canada, Gem Meat and Grocery and Fisheries, whatever, 30 Kennedy Road, Brompton, and the number is 905-457-2378, right? But I'll post them on so you can get my fruit cake, yes. My sweet potato puddings, yes. You know, in Christmas. But no, me a baker all year round, you know. But just not give bun. I'm sorry, I just don't make bun. And slow wine.
Could be one
Vegan.
banana cake for me.
I've never made that before. But
You
anything
can
is
do it,
possible.
man.
Of course,
You
anything
can
is
do it.
possible. I want to thank all my listeners, all my voice note, my callers. You know, keep it here, right here with me every Tuesday night, 10 to 12. I take the calls, welcome you, and thank you for listening. And of course, please be respectful. And I'll see you next Tuesday. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Slow wine. Everybody get slow wine.